very much, everyone. So the title of my talk today is Song Slides, the Phonograph as Mixed Media Entertainment in 1900. So I'm going to be dealing today with the phenomenon of song slides and the phonographs used in popular entertainments alongside them. So I'll start by asking the question, how do we conceive of people listening to the phonograph? We might perhaps identify three spheres: the public entertainment or the lecture, the domestic, and the coin in the slot. But here tonight I'm going to be concerned with the public entertainment. Now, I've always thought that context is of fundamental importance when we seek to analyse ways in which the phonograph was used and developed. And one of the hardest things for us fully to understand today is that of the public exhibition of the phonograph to audiences, especially when we might be missing a key element, that of a visual component. Public and private entertainments, given by means of glass slides projected by magic lantern, were immensely popular during the late 18th and early 19th, throughout the 19th century. Towards the end of the 19th century, lantern shows were most commonly experienced by the British public at town halls, village halls and assembly rooms, given by travelling projectionists or lanternists, much indeed in the way that the phonograph was first introduced to the British public. These entertainments were often accompanied by music, but towards the end of the 19th century, there was a fashion for lanternists to have sets of what were known as song slides, which accompanied in a visual way the narrative events described in various popular songs. A singer would be employed or got from the local community, and their songs would be accompanied with these slides. It was a matter of natural progression that the live singers would be replaced by the phonograph. The expenses were saved of paying the singers, and although the use of the phonograph did cost, by this date, 1900, the machine could be bought outright. The impression on my research throughout this has been that it's very much the phonograph and not the gramophone, which I think was always viewed more as a domestic instrument. But the phonograph in Britain never quite lost its conception, in the popular mind at least, with the idea of it being an exhibition instrument, part of the long shadow of the introduction to this country of the phonograph in lectures. Many of these song slide sets were manufactured by Bamforth and Company in Yorkshire, as will the two we'll see this evening. They were producers of slides of all kinds, but especially these narrative slides. The head of the company and the founder, James Bamforth, was also one of Britain's film pioneers, and it's no surprise then with his interests that the company specialised in these narrative slides, rather than the far more prolific sets of travel views of scenic places. So here I think we can see this close developmental link between the magic lantern and narrative slides and the structure of early film. The idea of having progressive scenes in an early film to tell a story could be seen to have developed ultimately out of the progressive narrative form of ballad songs and the use of song slides to accompany them. One only has to look at the scenery employed in any of Georges Méliès's early films, and it can be seen just how much he owes to the combination of photography and stylistic painting that we see in lantern slides. So the idea of the narrative song slide is a crucial interstep between the magic lantern and film. So to give us a sense of what this important and interesting development, which intimately concerned the phonograph, would have looked like, I have recreated for us this evening two song slide performances. The first set is of a popular Victorian ballad song, The Banks of Allan Water, and I will explain so you understand exactly what's happening. It deals with a miller's daughter who lives beside the banks of Allan Water in Scotland. In the first verse, she loves a soldier, but in the second, he is false. And in the third, well, she's the heroine of a Victorian sentimental ballad song, so you can guess that she dies at the end. The song slide set comes from around 1900, and I have paired it to a record of the song, The Banks of Allan Water, from my own collection. This is a contemporary Edison Bell brown wax cylinder, so from about 1900, sung by Miss Alma Jones. So if we can have video one, please.
Excellent.
Of Allan Water, sung by Miss Alma Jones, London record.
Now, many magic lanterns in this period had two lenses and were called stereoopticons. This was essentially two lanterns mounted side by side or one above the other. This allowed for a phase transition effect between slides, and it also allowed you to overlay special effects on top of another slide. Sometimes indeed special pairs of slides were made to capitalise on these effects, and we see both of these effects in the next performance. One pair of slides has a transition from day to night, and on another I have added my own special effect, which was certainly possible in the period and was used by lanternists. I have seen it done. The slide set is of the song Anchored, or Safe in His Father's Home, which was written around 1889 by Samuel K. Cowan and music by Michael Watson. It tells the story of a sailor lad who suffers a shipwreck, and being a sentimental Victorian song, we can again guess the ending. Here, however, is an explicitly religious focus, which was certainly not unusual in this era, but particularly appropriate for these sorts of lantern entertainments, which were often given in church halls under the auspices of the local vicar. The record I have paired the slides to is a Columbia Grand, so a 5-inch brown wax record of again around 1900, so contemporary with the slides. The audio comes from a video of this record posted online, but it's surprisingly quite good. So could we have video too, please, Keith?
Performance will sing Anchored, Columbia Records, London made. Flying with a flowing sail over the summer sea, here through the seething gale, home around the sea. Lying with a feathery sound, bounding with daunting keel, and glad was the sailor lad at his heel, and sang at his wheel. Only another day to fly, only another night to home, they'll save at last the harbor boss, saving the father's home, safe in the father's and on the lightning loud, like forms in the dark, and on the thunder roar, come on, for the garden bar. There, when the storm had passed, heartily erect, but bright was the starry light that shone o'er the summer sea, and a soft smile came from the stars, and a voice from the whispering foam. Save, save at last the danger past, save in his father's home, save in his father's home, save in his father's home.
Excellent. Excellent. And that's the end.